Well, good morning, everybody. We're out here in the garden with Dave, the garden guy, talking about things to plant. A lot of people would think that in the wintertime, you don't garden.
Yeah, you know what? You get out there and garden. This is the time of year you do a lot of your gardening, getting prepared for spring, summer, and of course, fall. And that's called proactivity, folks. And what you want to do is you want to think about starting to prune your grapes right now. And this is real interesting, right? I'm going to give you a couple of these. But these are the grape prunings, and what you can do is go ahead and plant these directly in the ground or into a bunch of sand in a small pot or something like that. Get them started and then plant them in the springtime. These are the Thompson seedless grapes. The Flames do well, the Perlettes do well.
Right.
There's a lot of different types of grapes that do fantastic out here in the desert Southwest.
I think that's kind of surprising.
It is. It's very surprising. We grow them out here in the garden. In fact, you can look around. In fact, take a look around right now. The sun's kind of in a little bit of a cloud, but you can see how well the garden's doing. We're getting out there pruning our different types of apples, peaches, pears, apricots. All those need to be pruned. But along with that, of course, your grapes are one that you really get out there and start thinking about right now. Now, something else you want to think about is, well, believe it or not, boysenberries and blackberries. Now, I picked these up at Baker's Nursery, so no one has to email me 50 times, but these are being sold right now. They don't look like much, but we have blackberries out here in the garden right now that do fantastic. Now, the Brazos and Womacs do the best. There's some Apaches out there and some different varieties. I haven't necessarily tried, but the Brazos and the Womacs, like I said, do fantastic. Another one, boysenberries. Now this doesn't look like a whole lot, but this is the thornless boysenberry. They do fantastic out here in the desert Southwest, I am told. Now this is a new variety, and this is something I've been told by several of the viewers they've done fantastic. We're going to try this for the first time. I have not tried these in the past, but they're saying they're planting these on an eastern side of their home and giving them some afternoon shade and going, well, they're doing quite dramatic.
What should people be aware of if you pick something up like this? I mean, is this something that's going to grow kind of out of control and you really have to be on top of it?
That is a great question. In fact,
it?
We'll go, well, I don't know if we can get into the back South 40 there. Ooh. There's some there back there. It looks like, yeah, you say, ooh. We plant them along the fence, and these are some of our blackberries, and they come up in the springtime. They've got a lot of thorns on them, so if you got one of those neighbors that's crossing the wall, kind of peeking over the wall, maybe one of those places where you might want to think about putting something like this. But of course, they do fantastic, so keep in mind, they are thorny. They require pruning, and to pick them, well, you may get stuck a little bit. Subsequent, you're going to have to start thinking about wearing gloves. But other than that, they're pretty easy to take care of. And their water requirements are not that high. In fact, we very rarely water these guys. We get them in the spring. We kind of let them go in dormancy during the summer. And then in the fall, they start coming back a little bit, and then we go ahead and fertilize and then get ready for the spring again.
So a great product to cover up a cinder block wall that's not either textured or painted or
absolutely, or you want to just protect it from anybody actually going ahead and jumping it or underneath those windows. It acts as kind of a security type situation. Now, here's something else. I don't know if you've ever seen these. These are crowns. I showed these on Thursdays. The crowns of asparagus. And these should be planted right now, and they are the ideal situation for putting one of those plants in that, well, perpetualize in your garden. They last for up to 25 years. We've got some in our garden. They're about 6 or 7 years old right over there in the other section right over there, and they do fantastic. And they do need a little bit of pruning this time of year, but you put them in, you put those crowns about 18-inch centers, and you're on your way towards, well, growing them quite readily. In fact, once you start growing, after about 4 or 5 years, you can start harvesting the spears. There's a lot of information on the internet about how to get them planted. It's a little bit complicated, but not too hard. Last but not least, go ahead and start thinking about those bare root roses. We're putting some Don Juans. Bare roots are shipped, well, in a lot of sawdust, so they are very inexpensive, about $6.48 for one of these. This is what they look like. You're looking for canes that are fairly large when you're purchasing. Make sure you've got them soaking in a bucket for, well, for about 24 hours in just regular water, or if you want to, you can add a little bit of extreme juice or liquid seaweed. Go ahead and plant them in a nice, well, eastern exposure again. Afternoon shade's the ideal situation, and you're on your way towards a nice southwestern rose garden.
So when you're looking at these, you want to find the thick stalks.
That's right.
Pick them out of the box.
The thicker the stalk. There's a lot of them that got real thin ones, but I like to see 1 or 2 of these big guys on there, and that's the ideal situation. You're on your way, and then just make sure you put it in put it in real early. In fact, don't let them go for more than a week or so in that container, and you'll be on your way towards a nice live rose bush.
All right, Dave, thank you very much.